Happy Wednesday. So happy to be here. So thankful for the RF family, for people like you, pastors and leaders from all over the country, all over the world that love Jesus and are making an impact where you are. Welcome to our monthly webinar. With everything going on, we've switched it up a little bit and definitely are focused on the coronavirus, focused on how we're going to be strategic through this season as churches, as leaders, as nonprofit overseers. I mean, we are excited. We've got a lot of resources for you today. I am Ashley Bratton over Church Growth and Development for Redemption Fellowship, which is Pastor Ron's and Pastor Hope's basically a network of pastors and leaders, people credentialed. We're a covering. We offer resources and a fellowship of other people doing what you do. And so we're excited for today. Listen, before we get started, just wanted to remind you, we do have our webinars the third Wednesday of every month. They are at 1:30 Eastern or 10:30 Pacific time. So save those dates. We've got a great one planned on a balancing act next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, I should say, the 25th. And by Pastor Maurice Ravel and his wife. We also have Pastor Tavener Smith from Venue Church. He is doing one on discipleship in just a few weeks. So we'll definitely have all those on our website. And we are excited about just getting connected with you guys. But today we have some great things planned. The Redemption staff is going to share some of the strategy that we're using to reach people during this time, and hopefully it's beneficial. Feel free to share this video with your staff or anybody on your team that you think it would be beneficial for. That's what we're here for. And so without further ado, here's Pastor Ron Carpenter.
But we had a pretty doggone good week last week as we increased about 140 to 150% participation online last week. I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't take those numbers. We're working real hard. I want you to know something. I get the fact that right now I'm talking to pastors who've been pastoring 10, 20, 30 years, pastors with 500,000 to 3,000. And I know that I got people that are bivocational. I got people in startup churches, and I have been there. I know what it is to have 11 members. I know what it is to have 1,100. I know what it is to have 11,000. I have been there. So some of this stuff, there's no way to say this stuff and it's going to be pertinent to everyone, but take the parts that are applicable to you, because there's some really good stuff that we're going to share with you over the next few minutes. I think are going to be helpful. My goal is to keep this video conference around 30 to 40 minutes. I've got several guys that I've given about 3 minutes to talk, but all of them together, that'll be about 18 to 20 minutes. Then I'm going to finish it up with some key points that I think you need to know. Ashley was right. We do find ourselves in a different day. And instead of complaining and moaning and groaning, what do? We adapt. And 3 weeks ago now, I didn't even realize I was being prophetic when I said, you're entering a new season when you're being forced to adapt. A season just changes, and it does not ask you if you like the change or not. When fall comes, it does not ask you if you're through with winter. It just comes, and you better take off your bathing suit and throw on a sweatshirt, or you're not going to be ready for your new season. I think God is preparing us to be more innovative than maybe we have ever had, and we want to speak to some of that because our goal is to be a resource to you. That's why you give, why you tithe. That's what your offerings go to us, so we can turn around and do this. And so if you have any questions after this is over with, Ashley's going to give you the email. Email them back to Ashley. We will sift through the questions. We will try to give you swift answers. If you know a pastor within the fellowship who's in a startup type situation and this is really hurting them financially, we do have some resources. And we want to know, I'm not talking about the church. I can't fund their church, but we will actually have some resources to help out some families if they need to, if this stretch in any way is harmful to their economy. So God's given us some preparation for this moment, and I'm grateful. I got some new guys that I've asked to be on here personally. I texted them, guys who are not members of the fellowship, but they're personal friends of mine. I see some of you on here. I'm so glad you came, and hopefully something that we say will help you in the next few minutes. I want to talk about, basically, I want to give some of my staff the mic first, and actually you can moderate and unmute these guys. But I'd like Pastor Greg to start off. Pastor Greg is my executive pastor / CFO, and he has some insurance things. Now look, we're not trying to preach, we're trying to give you information. But there may be some of you that have clauses in your insurance that you may not even know about, where in course, and if there's a civil order, if there's a natural disaster, we have found out that there's a possibility in our insurance that if we can actually go back to our insurance and recoup losses. So some of you need to go some digging as to what kind of insurance you got, and I'm going to let Pastor Greg speak to that. Ashley, would you unmute Pastor Greg?
All right, I'm going to do the same thing that Ashley did. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I got a bunch of thumbs up. Let me echo too what Pastor just said. It's good to see so many familiar faces, and it's good to see our overseers and a lot of our pastors and some of the churches I've visited in the past. So thank y'all for joining us. Again, these are trying times, but it's good to be surrounded by so many familiar faces and to hear some voices. So again, thank y'all for joining. One of the things I do as executive CFO, I do a lot of, my wife says I'm too analytic, but anyway, I do a lot of analyzing. So I've been on the web as much as I can, trying to research, not just personally, but even for churches, what we can do. And I want to keep mine real simple. I emailed Ashley, and I think Ashley may speak to this. I emailed her a document because there were so many resources that I've located that could be helpful to us nonprofits, churches, etc., and even to your employees who may, unfortunately, in some cases, not even get a paycheck during these times. There's so many resources for them called employee insurance, employee disabilities that they have created. There's SPAs now that has been created by the government, which is financial aids for nonprofits. So what I did was I sent this to Ashley in a document, and I think she may put it in a PowerPoint, but she'll share that with you after this call, whatever way that she deems is necessary to do that. And I've included all the links, so you can just click on those links and get right into the information. One thing that I do want to discuss, because there's no link for this, is what Pastor just mentioned, and that is the possibility, and let me preface it. It is a possibility that some of your insurance that carries your blanket policies, your liabilities, your risk management policies, call your agent and ask them, do you have the clause, do you have the waiver, do you have the insurance that in the event of lost revenue for your church? Now, this is not a plug for our insurance, but we use Brotherhood Mutual. So if you use Brotherhood Mutual, which does nothing but insurance for churches, they do have that clause that went into effect March the 1st. This was a great timing for us because my policy renewed on February the 28th. So when it renewed, I immediately picked up this clause. And so we've been on extensive phone calls with vice presidents and our rep, and it looks like it's a very good possibility. Of course, we'll have to provide financial records and averages over the last 6 months to a year, but there's a very big possibility that we will get a certain percentage of our loss of revenue. So I would encourage you to check with your insurance company. It is basically so new they don't even have the legal term to put it in insurance. It's just a loss revenue clause. So check with that. If you've got Brotherhood Mutual, absolutely make that the next call you make when we hang up and just ask them about this clause. But all of the other resources I've got that I think will be very helpful to you, again, from a nonprofit status to your employees, even you yourself, then all of those will be sent to you by Ashley here shortly. And if you have any questions, I'll put my email address on the chat. Get that, and I'll be glad to help you navigate through that any way I can. God bless you guys. We know that we're praying for you each and every day. Again, these are trying times. We serve a mighty God who this didn't catch him off guard. So he's got a plan for all of us, and I think we're doing what we should do here to go forward.
Thank you, Pastor Greg. Ashley, can everybody hear me? Ashley, am I heard right now?
Yes.
Greg, can you hear me? Okay, just want to make sure. Wasn't sure if she unmuted me or not. Let me tell you what we did last week and what we are doing, and then I'm going to let several people speak to this. We turned this week all of our horsepower toward online. California, of course, is probably taking the most aggressive approach to this. So I understand you may not be having to abide by guidelines that I am having to abide by. Right now, we're on lockdown and they're pretty strict. So I've got very narrow parameters that I have to operate in. If your state has not imposed those, then of course some of these things may not be applicable. But I'm talking to everybody who cannot have a formal church meeting. Let me tell you what some of the things I have done. Everybody's not just getting a month off. I have taken everybody, no matter what their job description. I have a lot of people that their job description is to help us have successful church gatherings, like the people in helps ministry, like ushers director, like care pastors director, pastoral care, people over our redemption experience. This is a vast number of people that unless we're having a church service, they would have no job description. So all of them now have been turned toward our Facebook Live /online/media marketing experience. So every one of these have been divided into teams, and they are now will be going per service. They've been divided into teams and been given and assigned different services. We run one on Saturday night, 4 on Sunday, and they will be in there working the threads. So they will be, if it's iChurch, they will be in the chat rooms. If it's Facebook Live, they will be in the Facebook groups. If it's people who are a part of our life groups, they will be in the Facebook groups. Pastor Mel's going to speak more on that. And now they are in there asking for prayer requests, asking what we can do, responding to people's comment, engaging the people, and doing everything we can to make the people feel connected. So now everybody has an assignment, has a computer, and everybody has a service they've been assigned to, and everybody's getting in the threads, representing the church. And on behalf of Pastor Ron, how can I pray for you? What do you need? What are the needs of your family? What questions do you have? So we're just taking an army of people and putting them in these threads. Number 2, we're taking our entire database. Okay. Now I've only been out here, a little over a year and a half, but we got about 10 to 11,000 names. Pastor Greg, shake your head. Yes, if I'm right on that in our database, 10 to 11,000. 10 to 11,000 names in our database that have been collected under our leadership. And what we are doing is now we have also given each staff member, Greg, I think you said it came out to about 94 names apiece. Everybody has 94 names apiece within the database to do a personal call on my behalf, representing me, to every person we have in our database, a personal call from a staff member. And I didn't leave what to talk about up to anybody. The topics have been scripted, so they know how to address them. They know what to talk to them about. They know what to not talk to them about, and then how to address them and to bring any problems back and where the problems go if the people have them. So we're in the threads, making it much more of a community, much more connected. People are being responded to. And number 2, people on the database get a personal contact from me, as long as everyday social media content, which I'm going to let some others talk about in a moment. Okay. Those are the main things that we're doing, but those are 2 biggies. So some of you may have 300 in your database. Some of you may have 1,200 in your database. You say, well, Pastor, I don't have as many staff. Well, take however you have your leadership teams divided up, people that you trust speaking on your behalf. Make sure on a weekly basis you are engaging those people and keeping them and making them feel like they're not on an island. Because in a world where people already don't feel connected, now we're being told to have social distancing. So it's very important that we be a touch and that we reach out. Pastor Kay, you are over our iChurch. You have been for years. I think you have some tools that you think can help everybody. So I'm going to give you a few minutes just to speak to them here and give them some tools in their tool belt that they may use. Ashley, if you would let her speak.
I'll just unmute myself. Hi, I'm Kay Golden. I'm the online pastor for iChurch, and I run the CHOP platform. So you have social media, and then you can have a website viewing. And the CHOP platform, it's free. It's from Life Church, and Ashley's going to share some of those resources. And I also have some guides that I use for training volunteers for prayer and the chat, because we are very strategic in keeping people focused on the service and the conversations geared in that direction, and also loving people no matter where they are. That's our biggest focus in iChurch. The iChurch platform is a little easier to navigate. If you wonder, why would I do iChurch when I could do Facebook Live? The Facebook chat's a little bit harder to navigate. If you have nothing, you definitely want to have at least a Facebook Live to have your people get the word. And one thing I do want to say is, don't feel like if you don't have anything going, don't feel overwhelmed that you got to do everything today. Start this week streaming, however that is, through Facebook, or if you want to start a CHOP, then you can add people, volunteers to love on the people. And that's what I'm there for. And strategically now, as we have several campuses joining us, we're going to have people from each campus welcoming in the chat that congregation, so that everybody feels we are truly becoming one in this situation. So it's just amazing how God is using technology. Don't be afraid of it. Don't hesitate to ask for help. There's lots of resources available, and we're here for you also. And it's just amazing. It's been awesome to see how God has used technology to change lives. Like, I've literally watched people's lives change over months, just in how they speak and what they do, and just coming from any situation. There's some people that are not going to come in a local church. They need ministry too. They want to be part of a family. And that's what we have iChurch for. No matter where you are, no matter how you're coming, we love you, and we want you to be part of this family.
So Kay, they can get this CHOP platform if they would like it. It is free, and Ashley's going to let them know how to have that at the end, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the tools, you don't need $50,000, $100,000 worth of equipment. You know what you need? You need basically an account, and you need some type of camera, or I think at Facebook Live, just a phone. So get yourself a place where you can set it up and start operating. Don't let it intimidate you, because we don't know how long this is going to last. And then you need some way, whether it's email blast, text, however you solicited their information, to get the information out that you will indeed be online live, and what times that will happen. Ms. Kay, I thank you so much, Pastor, for giving that information. This week we're doing, so let me move, I tell you what, I'm going to save Morgan and Matt till the end of this. Pastor Melissa and life groups. So Pastor Melissa has done some innovative things here. She's over our life groups in our church. This is a shift for the church that I took over, and we've taken a major shift. So this is one of the growing ministries in our church, but she has found a way to go to all of her life group captains and find a way to take the actual people within the church and do their best to keep them engaged through those captains. So if we could unmute Pastor Mel and let Pastor Mel take about 3 to 5 minutes and tell them what she does right here.
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Thank you, Pastor Mel.
Awesome. So I'm Pastor Mel. And so we know that, especially here in the Bay Area, we're all shelter in place. And so we cannot have those physical life groups. So what my husband, John Hayashida, he's over the marketing communications. What he has built is these iGroups on Facebook. And as Pastor Ron was saying, we do have these, I have captains over all of our different types of life groups. So we have men's, women's, mixed, marriage and family, special interest, and young adult type of life groups. And so these captains are over these life groups. So for the Facebook group, what I am doing is I'm having these captains being the administrators and moderators for these on Facebook. So they are able to, what we have built is a Facebook group. And with the groups is they're able to build relationships on these groups. They're able to engage in conversations and grow together on these groups. and you can actually go live on these groups as well. And everybody who is in that group gets pinged when you go live. And so
Say that
when
again. Say that again. Say that again
yeah.
right there. That's very important.
So when you go live on these Facebook groups, everybody that is part of this group gets pinged. They get like, you know, a notification on their phone saying that, do you guys hear echo? Sorry, I hear an echo.
I hear you.
Sorry about that. So they get pinged on their phone to know that you have gone live on this group. And also the people that are in the group are able to share with their friends on Facebook. So if they know people that want to be part of their group, they just go to the friends list and click add friend, and it'll invite their friends to this group. John, my husband, actually has built these groups, but we haven't promoted them, but already overnight with no promotion, there's been over 40 people that have joined these groups. And so it is a great tool to use right now as we are, you know, in our homes doing, you know, life a different way. And it is actually quite easy to create a group. And John will actually be sending an email with Ashley Bratton to everybody on here with tutorials, with video tutorials on how to create these pages, how to create the Facebook groups, video tutorials on live streaming online, just to get everybody on track and on board, just an easy way and videos to get everybody connected. And this is our way that at the end of this shelter in place, what we want to do is we want to keep those Facebook pages open even after this is done, but we want the people that are in those groups, we actually want to put them in physical groups because our life group leaders are still, they're going to be using Zoom, Google Hangouts, you know, different, even on their own Facebook. We want them to keep connected with their life groups already, but we want to make sure that we have just a catch-all for everybody, keep them encouraged. We're going to be sending them scriptures, encouragements, resharing Pastor Ron's videos, watch parties for the services, just make sure that they are connected as they are at home.
Great. Thank you, Pastor Mo. That was a mouthful. I hope you were able to get some nuggets and take some notes out of that, because that was a lot. But it is a great, great, great tool to keep the people engaged. And you could hear by what she said, we already had all these people signing up. We hadn't even promoted it yet. So,
and so,
okay.
Sorry, real quick, Pastor Ron. And so we'll be Pastor John, my husband, with Ashley Bratton, will be emailing everything I just said, just to make sure everybody has that. And then also, if you just kind of want to know some more resources, there's a page, myredemption.cc/resources of, and will give you a list of all the resources that will be available to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me tell you what we're doing this week. Pardon me. We're doing a full family approach. This was always a vision of ours, but we wanted to release it and do it when we had all of our horsepower and planning in place. This has kind of forced our hand to do it a little bit faster than we normally would, with maybe not quite as much preparation, but we felt like it was so needed. So we're moving this week to a full family approach. So we're moving from iChurch to iKids and iYouth, so that everybody, I know my grandkids all have little pads, have little tablets. I mean, so everybody can experience church on every level, a full church approach. So when we're giving online and we're giving in the service, people can give online. When we're praying in service, people can pray online. When we're ministering, they minister online. So I wanted basically to say, you know, there's something for everybody in what we're doing here, because this is when it's needed most. So I know that sounds hard, and you're like, God, Ron, it's just me and a secretary and a worship leader. This is something I could almost do, you know, if I didn't have a whole lot of tech knowledge, because we're actually going to be pre-taping it. I'm going to start with Ms. Morgan, who's director of our children's ministry. Miss Morgan, about 3 to 5 minutes, and as best as you can with your happy face, I want you to get on, if you would, and I want you to let them know how we're going to have a presentation for our kids. So Ashley, would you pop her up, please?
Yeah, she's good.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor. So yes, we have been working to put together an iKids experience for this weekend, and we are pre-recording all of our videos. And during each service time, this weekend, we're going to be having the same video playing, and we are going to be targeting our 1st through 5th graders. But we're basically, the idea behind it is we're taking what they would normally be doing in the classroom or at church when they're in the rooms at church, and then bringing it into the home and changing the activities that they would be doing to be activities that they can do in their home with their families. We are creating an iKids landing page. And so on the landing page, if you want to join the iKids experience, it's going to be for the 1st through 5th graders. However, if you have children who are a 2-year-old through kindergarten, we also have an early childhood experience for them. Now, the curriculum that we are using in our Redemption Kids rooms already, we source it from Life Church. So there's a resource site that I will give to Ashley. It's open.life.church, and that's where we get all of our early childhood, our 1st through 2nd grade curriculum, and our 3rd through 5th grade curriculum. So we actually have 3 different curriculums that we run on Sundays, and we target it towards the different age groups. So we're taking that and we're creating an online video, but we're recording individual videos that would be the pieces of service that we would normally be doing in person. We're doing recorded videos and then mashing it up and creating one big long video that includes the curriculum video as well to put it on our iKids website. Now, the different activities that we're doing, just to give you examples of how we're taking what would normally be in the classroom and making it family friendly for at home, we're starting out our service flow with just connecting with the kids, letting them know just because we can't be together in person, we can still have kids church. This is just the way we're going to be doing it for a few weeks. We're going to go over some cleanliness tips with them. We're going to make it super fun, like say your ABCs while you wash your hands, kind of just giving them some activities they can do in their home. And then we're going to do a chore chart challenge. So parents are stuck in their houses with kids for literally until the end of the school year almost right now in the Bay Area. So the majority of our congregation is trying to find things for their kids to do around the house. So we're not only helping the kids in this situation, we're also going to be resourcing the family. So our chore chart challenge for this week is the kids are going to help fold the laundry. So they're going to have a little challenge where they get a minute and see how many towels you can fold or whatever it is. And then an example after that is we're going to do a family challenge. So normally in the classroom, we would have a game time segment. So instead of it being a game that you would do in the classroom, we're going to create family challenges that they can do at home with their parents and their siblings. Now, we also created a Redemption Kids Pinterest page. It's just redemption_kids on Pinterest if you want to look it up. And we have different boards that you can go onto for resources. So all of the games and the chore chart challenges or whatever we do that we reference in our curriculum video, you can also go and find on Pinterest. So if the parents want to do an activity with the kids during the week that the kids learned about on Sunday, they can go back and do it again. Then we're going to, of course, have praise and worship still. We're recording a video to explain to the kids what is praise and worship. Now, when I say we're recording videos, it's literally me, my staff. I have 3 other employees at their homes with their kids, and they're going to be recording videos on their iPhones, and then we're all sending it to one person and then putting the videos together. So these are just going to be videos that we can film ourselves on our iPhones. There's no high production or anything like that, but it still accomplishes the tasks that we're trying to accomplish of giving the kids activities. And really with the style of what the kids are watching these days, the YouTube craze right now, kids will literally sit on YouTube and watch other kids doing activities in their homes for fun. So we can use that to our advantage and be the ones that they're watching doing activities in our homes. All of my staff have kids, and so we're using them and their families to be able to create these videos. You all are welcome to use these videos as well. We have a Redemption Kids YouTube. We have already started building out our playlist
on our YouTube. It's just, you can search Redemption Kids on YouTube and you'll find it. We have an early childhood praise and worship playlist. We have elementary praise and worship, as well as all of our curriculum videos. So if you're not able to create your own videos, you can always use the videos that we have on our YouTube and create your own playlist. Creating a YouTube account is free, and you can create playlists to organize it however you want for your kids' church. Beyond that, in addition to what we're doing on Sundays, we're also going to be pushing content during the week. So we'll have challenges to drive our kids to our YouTube channel. We'll tell them, like, look out on Wednesday because we'll be releasing a brand new exercise challenge video. So it'll give them like little exercises that they can do in the home with their family, and it'll give them something to look forward to throughout the week until we get back together next Sunday. Now, on Sunday, when we stream our live service, which will be pre-recorded, as I said, we will not have the chat feature open for the kids. There are some legalities that we wanted to avoid running into. So we will not have a chat feature, and we will not have a form that the kids text if they say yes to Jesus. We are actually going to spin it to where at the end of our curriculum video, with the curriculum we're using from Life Church, there is a salvation prayer. And so we want the kids to have the opportunity to give their lives to Christ. But instead of the kids texting us and telling us that they gave their lives to Christ, because you have to be over 13 to text, none of our kids meet that age limit. So we're actually going to then address the parents and say, like, okay, kids, like, this next part is for your parents. And we're going to say, hey, parents, like, here are some resources that you can use to talk to your kids about salvation. So say one of the kids watches the video, gives their lives to Christ. Now we're going to set the parents up with resources for how to talk to their kids about Jesus. Also, we have discussion questions. Normally we have small groups on Sunday that you would do after the curriculum video. So instead of it being a small group that you do in the classroom, it's going to now be a small group that you do with your family. So we are going to be posting resources on our iKids website that the parents can download, and they can get in the group with the kids, and they can talk about the memory verse or what's the point, which is like the need to know. And then they'll have questions to talk about what they just learned. Also, if the parents or families need prayer, we're setting up a text. Pastor Kay can correct me. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's something about texting churches. So there's a number that the parents can text in, and it'll go to our pastoral care team, and basically it'll help us be able to know what families need prayer, how can we reach out to them, how can we help them. If they need resources of any kind, we want to be that for them. So we're trying to just equip the families to be as prepared as possible to help their kids grow spiritually while they're at home. Some of them don't even have schoolwork or anything to do. Some parents are doing homeschooling and stuff. It just depends on the school district you're in. So we want to make sure that we're providing resources and things to keep the kids busy. Like on our Pinterest page, that's going to be a very good resource for a lot of parents. We're putting like how to talk to your kids about COVID-19, how to like different fun recipes and activities and stuff. So there's a very large variety of things. We're just trying to equip the family.
Thank you, Pastor Morgan. I like a couple of the words she used: free, and you can use our stuff. Okay? Free, and you can use our stuff. This is all available to you. Now, I am trying to do my best to keep this meeting to 45 minutes because unlike a lot of people in the tech world, preachers can't look at a screen all day. So, but I do want to back up. I've gotten 2 texts, one from Pastor Greg, one from my marketing director, John Hayashida, Pastor Mel's husband, that maybe something that Pastor Mel said may need a little more explanation. And that is exactly how to go in Facebook and set up a Facebook group. So evidently there were some questions come up on how. So John, in your most non-tech way, you know how to do it. Okay?
Yes,
Mr. Brainiac.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got it. I got it.
I need you to simplify this process for a pastor that does not have a John and Melissa Hayashida. Okay.
Thank you, Pastor. Yes, so it's going to be very, very simple. We're going to have all of these resources on myredemption.cc/resources. And so really you can go on there. I'm going to make a document, a video just showing you how to do this. It's really simple. All you have to do is to log into Facebook, and on the top right, it says create. And then in the drop-down menu, it says groups. That's literally all you have to do to set up a Facebook group. I am a marketer, so I do have to talk about live streaming, and I came up with a cool title for it, and it says free online streaming with only your smartphone. So this is really what we're doing with the youth and the kids, is that we are recording stuff with just an iPhone, and we're uploading it to YouTube. You can make a free account with the Church Online platform. All you have to do is paste that YouTube link inside of Church Online platform. It has a countdown that shows we're going live in 4 minutes. As soon as that countdown ends, your YouTube video pops up that you pre-recorded, and you're live. You're live on the website. You can go on social media, say Saturday night at 6 p.m. we're going to go live on this website. You'll have your own URL with your church. It'll have your church name, and it says online.church. And so that is like the URL that you'll put like everywhere. Some of the things that we'll go over as well in that resource is that you can sign up for a text in church account. It's only $30 a month. And so this way, when you do salvations, we had 109 salvations online, and we directed all of them to Church Online platform. All you have to do is text saved to a phone number, and it automatically kickstarts text, emails, all of these like processes that you don't even have to touch. You set it up, they're already like made templates. So really for $30 a month, you could have a complete online solution for live streaming, and you can set that up. And all of that information on the how-to from step 1 to 5, all you have to do is go on to myredemption.cc/resources, and we're going to have all of that on there for you. So literally $30 a month, you could be streaming online to your whole congregation.
Got you.
Yep.
Thank you for coming on, John. I really appreciate that. Let's move to Pastor Matt. Just like what Morgan, who's our preschool director and our children's church director, Pastor Matt is our youth director. He's going to be doing the same type thing as Morgan. Matt, just let them know in a simple way. How it's not that hard, and give them some tools that they can use to do what you're doing.
Crazy guys.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, so for the youth during this time, what we're doing is, Pastor Ron, we haven't actually done this, so this is our first week. We're going to do an online service for the teenagers. We haven't ever done that before, where we broadcasted a Sunday service. So that's what we're going to do this week. So we're learning too on a lot of different things that we can do. But just to talk about that online service real quick. So the way that we're going to do it is we're not really sure about the copyright issues with the praise and worship. So we're going to take some of the old worship songs that Redemption Praise and Worship team has already done and has a license for, and throw those on there. And we're going to welcome them and then do some praise and worship so that they have a couple songs that they can listen to in their houses, and just encourage them to worship. I'd love to, if we have a little more production value, to put myself into like a lower box so that I can worship and praise with the song, to be like interacting with them doing that. It'll be really cool to get that done. And also as youth culture goes, this is something that's going to be pretty interesting. Because we're doing a video, we have so many options. So you can do something where you talk to the video camera and just do a lesson, or you can run around outside, because you're allowed to exercise where we are, and run around and do fun stuff, and make it interactive with the message, and then bring it into a serious moment and add the music and altar calls at the end. And that's what we're going to do, altar calls. We're also going to give the option for tithes and offerings, because we're pretty sure that parents and grandparents for the first time will check out, what are my kids like listening to when it comes to church? So we're understanding that we're going to be talking to families probably, because they're going to be at home anyway. So we want to give them the tithing option and the altar call. We're going to push everyone to the Redemption existing text in church options for that too. So outside of the Sunday, what we're going to do is mostly utilize Instagram Live. So like, you know how the Facebook groups work? It works kind of the same way with Instagram, except it's your whole Instagram list. And students are not necessarily on Facebook. They're more on Instagram and Snapchat and now TikTok. So if you, this is the first time I've been staying away from TikTok because I didn't really want to do one yet, but I'm doing a TikTok. We're starting a TikTok, start a TikTok, do the dances. They're going to love that kind of stuff. Interact with the kids that way. If you have a youth pastor, tell them to do all the dances. They don't even have to be good. I can't dance, but the fact that I'm trying, the kids will go crazy over it. There's another thing where you switch with the light switch thing, and you and your wife, I have a wife now, so I can do this. It's awesome. So you switch the light switch in the bathroom and you switch clothes for a moment. It's just, I don't know. It's dumb. It's 7 seconds, but this is the attention span of young people. Download TikTok and watch for 15 minutes and see how fast everything is, because that will kind of inform you as to how you can do your fun portions in these video services for your youth. Of course, they'll listen and watch a sermon, like a regular sermon given, but if you utilize these fun, fast-changing things, I think it'll grab their attention better. Next thing is I started another Instagram for my student leaders. And so I started another Instagram, RY, that's our Redemption Youth Lead. And I started another one for that. And I invited the leaders that we have that are students so that I can talk to them when I go live. And of course, we need their parents. And that's another thing to think about. Like, even though these students are able to interact with us, like almost on a young adult level, they are still children. So that's why when it comes to our life groups that we're trying to do, I'm trying to keep it real broad in these bigger groups, because we don't want parents to be like, who are my kids talking to that represents the church in a private video chat group. That's something you have to be very careful of. So mostly Instagram Live. If you have youth pastors or youth leaders, they probably know how to do that, and they do that on a regular basis. But another thing that I wanted to bring up is the challenges that we're going to give the kids. The exercise challenges. I was going to challenge the guys to push-ups. We're going to have action steps of how to get them interconnected. So we're going to challenge them to call 5 friends and tell them to watch the service. We're going to put it on them to increase their relationships with people and to be intentional about praying with them. And the way that we're going to push people to the Saturday is I'm going to go live on Instagram every single night this week. I started yesterday, and push people at 8 o'clock. So it's kind of a little bit later, and push them to that Saturday service. And we have a Bible reading plan that we're doing every single day. And I'm focusing on character studies. So like today will be like Gideon. It's just one chapter, Judges 6, like read this. And what are you learning from the character of Gideon? And then I'm also having them memorize Psalms 91. So I'm taking it 2 verses at a time. Yesterday it was Psalms 91 verse 1 and 2. Today's 3 and 4. And I'm going to get them all the way to 7. And then I'm going to have them say it back to me, send in videos. And I'm trying to get videos from them this week so that I can cut it into the service that we're going to do online, so that the students can see other students reading the Bible, memorizing scripture, and being aggressive during this time, and not just sitting back scared. So that's one thing that we're doing. And also, of course, talking to your leadership team and getting everyone excited for what we're doing right now, but also when we get out of this quarantine time, to push them to our big events and our normal stuff. Just in case you're wondering, our normal rhythm of the month for youth is on the first Friday of the month, we have an outreach service. The next week is life groups, where we meet with people separately. And then after that, we have a leadership Saturday, where we do trainings, discipleship, and worship for them to learn how to worship and change the atmosphere for our Friday services. And then we have an outreach event on a Saturday that leads to the first Friday. And of course, every single Sunday, both services, we do worship, word, and discussion questions, which we will also be providing for our online experience. So that's about it.
Thank you, Pastor Matt. Man, I'm impressed with my own staff. I just sitting there thinking, man, we got some good people hanging around here. I hope you're getting something out of it. We've dropped from 74 to 68 participants. I don't want to lose many more. It's my turn. I'm up now. And just let me give some of the things as far as your online expression. Give me 5 minutes and I'll wrap this up. By the way, for those of you who came in late, this is recorded. And I mean, this is some good stuff. This is game-changing stuff. And some of it is very easy to do. You keep hearing the word free and a phone. You wouldn't believe how much of this stuff you can do if you got a phone. And you just got to create accounts if you don't have them. And no matter what level you're on, you can get this stuff going for you. I've talked with Phil Cook and out of LA about, he has been the guy who has been probably chief in helping us formulate our media, our TV, a lot of our marketing approach for the last decade. He's just a media mogul out of LA, and he does his own podcast. I've spoken with him 2 times and Sam Chan to come together with some things about your personal online expression. I've got them written down in bullet points, and I just want to share them to you. Please don't tune me out, because I'm going to tell you this is important, okay? Because this is your only way to preach right now and teach. So I want to give you something to do. Number 1, make sure you're easy to find. Phil Cook said he was amazed at the number. He took all Sunday and just toured churches all over America and what they were doing. He said he was amazed. I took notes at how difficult it was to find some of these churches. And some of these churches barely mentioned the live stream on their website. So make sure the icon is big and it's easy to get through. And usually you don't need more than 2 clicks. He said he found out some of them that did have a stream, it took 5 or 6 clicks to actually find it. So you've got to make your stream button big. Number 2, send out a reminder text or email right before the service starts. Okay? Send out a reminder, text or email. These are things we're doing. Number 3, give early viewers something to watch if you can. Whether it's a music video, whether it's something pre-taped from your church. He said, do not make people sit there and look at a blank screen or a graphic for 20 minutes. Statistics show that people will sign on up to 30 minutes before church starts. And I noticed when I got on it 20 minutes before this Zoom meeting, and there were already about a dozen people on this meeting right here. So don't make them sit there and watch a blank screen and give the a chance for their attention to be diverted. Number 4, when service starts, you need to consider having a greeting or a prayer yourself. I think starting out, they need to hear from you. Okay, number 5, if you're just starting online because you couldn't meet in a building, he said, do not introduce new worship songs. So let me tell you what we're doing this weekend. We can only have 10 people in the building. So I got a studio guy, I got a camera guy, I got me, and I got 5 or 6 praise team members. Okay, we're going to use canned music, but a live praise and worship team. So the music is going to be already canned, but we're not going to show the band that they're not playing. Well, our band is up high. We're going to be showing a live worship team. So it's going to look just like last week, a live praise and worship team going at it in this empty building. We got special permission from the mayor's office for me not to have to do it from my house, to be able to go back to the sanctuary and do it like we did last week. So a live praise and worship team and me preaching in a live meeting, but without the band. We're using canned music. So I had all my creative team submit to me the music that we have canned, that we know, and we handpicked the 3 songs that we're going to be singing. Okay? Now, number 6, if you don't have a live audience, he says don't fake it. I'm going to tell you, I do. I'm not going to be hypocritical. I usually preach to an empty building like it's got 4,000 people in it. But this Sunday, I preached to the camera. Okay? I didn't try to fake it. Everybody knows we don't have a building full of people. So preach to the camera. The camera makes it intimate and makes it look like you're preaching straight to them. Number 7, that's not important. Don't wait until the end to take an offering. I don't know what it is now. John could probably update these numbers. I remember for years you had at the most 18 to 28 minutes was an average for an online viewer. If you wait and do your offerings at the end, like are so popular with most churches now, you will probably have lost over half of your audience or more before you get to it. So I did our offering. I did an altar call for salvation right after our 3rd song. Then I did an offering straight to the online. So do not do it at the end or you're going to lose too many of your people. Make the live stream available 24/7. And you need to basically understand now that this online presentation is legitimate. And right now, it is the church. It is the way that we're doing church. So take all the horsepower you got, whether you got 10 members or 20,000, and throw it at it, okay? Let me hit you with some one or two more things before we sign off here. 212. It's not looking good. Okay. I know a lot of guys on the East Coast, maybe in the Midwest, have not been hit with a lot of parameters. It took me 6 months to get this crew of speakers together on the same dates. It's difficult, and thinking about canceling it as badly as we need to be together is very painful to me, quite honestly. But we just got an announcement yesterday that there will not be anybody attending a school here till the fall. If they keep putting the clamp down on gatherings, I just don't know how I can do a 212. I will probably have a decision made by the end of next week, because 212 cost about $350,000. I would have to spend about $150,000 up front to seed it and get it going. And there's no way that I can suffer those kind of losses right now. Right now, it's still on. I will look at whether or not they think it's contained and this is going to be over sooner, or whether or not they just seem to keep drawing it out. But probably within the next week, I will have made a decision, because I know that most of you need to make plans, and I get it. I'm doing the best I can with the information I have. Okay, on 212. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm forgetting. Pastor Greg, Miss Ashley, you're welcome to text me, or just unmute and talk about anything that I may have forgotten. But I think as far as the stuff I wanted to talk about, I'm flipping through my notes. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you have any type of community services, let me tell you what we're doing today. This can be done with a phone. This can be done by you. We were asked by the mayor to please keep our food pantry open. Food pantry sounds real old schoolish. It's really a warehouse. We got a warehouse with pallets of food. We have within our about a mile a very underprivileged neighborhood, and they've asked us to keep it open for homeless people and for that neighborhood. So we got special permission from the mayor's office to keep it running. If you do any type of missions work or local outreach, I would take some pictures of it. I would do a live video of it, and then I would post it and just do something like Your Giving Matters. Not a solicitation video, but to let them know that there's more that your resources are going to than just having church. There are missionaries to be paid. There are outreaches to be supported. And I have mobilized my videographer today to go get this video footage. And we're going to do a graphic tonight that says, "Thank you, Your Giving Matters." So sometimes when you show the tangible difference that their giving makes, sometime when it would be easier to go out of sight, out of mind, that makes it a little more difficult. That pulls on the heart a little bit. So I think anything that you do, community service or mission, humanitarian minded, that you can get a picture or a video of, you need to put it out there. Okay? I will be releasing my first one tonight. I do know some of the maybe the small town rural churches, if you don't have a lot of online presence, maybe your congregation is small enough where you could actually set up a drop-off. I heard of one church that was doing a drop-off at their church for people that wanted to give or donate in any way, to literally drive up and had a drop-off. I thought that was an excellent idea. I'm in a sprawling metropolitan area with 8 million people. I don't know how good a drop-off would be for me, but for some of you in smaller towns, that could actually be a very powerful idea to use. We've been on here 57 minutes. My goal was 45. We've kept most of you, all except 10, on here the whole time. We're going to make all this information and all these links available to you. Okay, Miss Ashley, I'm going to let you close it out. Let them know how to get in touch with you, how to get these links, and how to get their questions in if they have anything we can answer. And I want you to know I love you. I care about you. I care about your success. And this is nothing more right here than to try to resource you. I'm not asking anything from you. we've just had some successes. Last week was a phenomenal success for our team, and we want to share those successes with you. We don't want them to be our hidden trade secret. We want you to know. And so I speak blessings over you. Keep your head up. We're praying that this is a short-lived thing, and we'll be back to normal real soon. But right now, you've got the power to adapt and be innovative, and we want you to use it. But just know that we care about you, and me and Hope are praying for you, all right? Miss Ashley, close it out with information as fast as you can, and let these people get back to other things they need to be doing than looking at my face.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pastor, for sharing. And listen, I wanted to let you guys know, echoing what he just said, I know we have some of you guys that are nonprofits and not senior pastors. And so we have some resources too for online fundraiser ideas and all kind of stuff that we'll tag as well. And just a reminder that our monthly webinars are the third Wednesday of every month, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time or 1:30 Eastern. So we'll be posting those on our website. We have one coming up with Pastor Mo this next Wednesday. But yes, like we put in the chat, and I'll email you as well, the myredemption.cc/resources. We will put every week, we'll be updating that with up-to-date information and resources, all the stuff we mentioned today. So thank you guys so much. Again, my email is ashleyb@myredemption.cc. You can text me, call me, email me. We're here for you guys. We're praying, believing with you guys. Please keep us up to date on what's going on, how we can pray, how we can believe, how we can be there for you guys. We are family, and we're in this together. So anyway, if anybody else, I don't know if Pastor Greg or anybody has something to jump in, or Pastor Ryan. All right. We love you guys. You guys have a great week.